What's happening, YouTube? It's Simon 466 Cards, and today we're going to review the predictions I made about the hobby for 2023 a year ago. Now that 2023 is over, I want to review the predictions I made. So we're going to go over basically the exact same presentation I made last time with some edits, talking about what has happened this year. So the first prediction I made was that basically there are too many companies in the hobby. It's ripe for consolidation, whether it's through mergers and acquisition or whether there's some company that closed or went bankrupt, right? And so that's what happened, right? We start off with the live streaming app space, and Card Shop Live, unfortunately, went the way of the dodo bird. Next up, fractional. I said, I don't think fractional can sustain two companies. In fact, turns out they can sustain no companies because they both went bye-bye. Collectible and Dibs did. So now we go to grading. And HGA got sold or bought yet again. So that was some M&A that happened. But looking at how many cards are graded by them on a monthly basis, it's right around 2,000. You compare that with PSA doing 1 million a month, and for all intents and purposes, to me, HGA is irrelevant. They're basically dead man walking. I think there's not a big future for them, and I'm quite surprised, honestly, that they're still around. And lastly, we're looking at now the auction houses here down below. A lot of auction houses there. I said there's too many of them. One of them is not going to survive. And from all accounts, PWCC almost went bankrupt because they became over leveraged. And Fanatics basically bailed them out and they bought them. So for this prediction, I feel like I did pretty well. There was some type of M&A or closures in each of these four categories that I listed. So feeling pretty good about this one, as I do for my second prediction, which was that Topps was going to do some creative stuff while Panini was not. And I think it's fair to say that Topps, I said the MVP buyback program was just a canary in the coal mine as to the type of things they're willing to do. And that's what happened, right? They created the MLB debut patch, which I think is a really cool and awesome idea, very innovative. And so they followed that up with the Tom Brady Expos Bowman Chrome card. And given the amount of attention on this, the amount of commercials, I think it's safe to say Topps and Fanatics are doing stuff, and Panini, they're still printing more parallels, right? So this one, I think I'm quite happy with how this one turned out. I didn't know what Topps and Fanatics were going to do, but I knew they were going to do something, and they proved me right. Next up is my prediction about silver and base are going to lead the declines in ultra modern, and I'm just going to take the victory lap on this one. I'm not going to get into it too much, just to avoid beating a dead horse, but I think it's fair to say that silver and base are not doing well. But one prediction I made that was wrong was about Flawless overtaking National Treasures for basketball cards. Fortunately, that is not true, and here is the evidence. I looked up a Tyrese Halliburton Flawless rookie patch auto out of 25. It's a PSA 10, and it sold for $9K on November 26th, whereas a National Treasures RPA out of 99 in just a BGS 9 grade sold for $7,800 a month prior, and that's after Halliburton had a great start to the season. The fact that a PSA 10 barely outsells a BGS 9, again, same auction house, PWCC, so I think it's fair to say at this point, National Treasures is still ahead of Flawless. Having said that, I still believe in this thesis because it came from the fact that Flawless is the only basketball brand that includes actually game-worn materials in their patches for rookies, whereas National Treasures does not. You can see here the enclosed game-worn / used material and autograph are guaranteed by Panini America. That's for Flawless up top. Whereas at the bottom here, the enclosed officially licensed material is not associated with any specific game, player, or event. Basically, it came off the rack at Dick's Sporting Goods. And so the amount of cards that Panini produces for the rookies is staggering. The amount of RPAs that exist is also staggering. And Flawless is the only one that includes game worn and game used materials. And that's why I think the cream will rise to the top. They are the big differentiator between all the other RPAs that Panini produces, and I think that over time will be very apparent. And I think that differentiator will have Flawless eventually come to the top. Now, how long that'll take, I don't know. It's confusing and surprising to me that this is still the case, but sometimes these things take time, right? So we'll see this. But if I were to buy a card from 2020 and beyond, which is when this National Treasure is not associated with any specific player, game, or event thing happened, I would definitely be looking to buy a Flawless card over a National Treasures card. I think there's a lot of flippers and dealers, mostly flippers and investors, who are buying the National Treasure card, whereas a true collector will be more interested in a game-worn patch from Flawless. So that's just how I feel about that. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree. And then the last prediction I had was that specific Panini wax prices would decrease. And I'm mostly talking about second tier Panini brands. And so that's what I looked at. These are the prices. These were the prices that I had a year ago in this column here. And I said these are too high. And looking at the box prices today, they are definitely lower, with the exception of Prism Basketball. I'm not sure why Prism Basketball went up 10% while everything else went down, but here we are. So this prediction worked out pretty well as well. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. So 4 out of 5. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. The next time we get together, I'm going to talk about my goals from 2023, how I did on those, and then talk about my one goal for 2024 and how you guys can help. So that's going to be the video for next time. Thank you, as always, for listening and watching. I will talk to you all soon. Cheers.